Hi there guys, how are you? So last class we stopped at identifying A, B, and C and the functions that I gave you. So this time we're gonna learn how to graph an equation, okay? We're gonna have two ways of graphing the quadratic function through tables and through the formula. We're gonna start with this one, okay? So today's class is gonna be about the tables and the formula comes next, okay? So for now, don't worry about this, okay? Scenes of the next chapters. So how are we going to graph one quadratic function? So let's say that I have this function over here, y equals x squared plus, negative x squared plus 4x minus 1. Okay, so this is an example, right? Just so you know, I got this from my mind, okay? I'm creating this to give you the example on how we're gonna graph this. So, graphing. We know that this graph is going to be a parabola. And parabolas could be like this, or like this. Okay? Good. So, how do we do this? First step, we're gonna create a table. We're gonna create a table for x and y. And then we're gonna start guessing numbers, which is the same procedure we were already doing for linear functions, okay? So, let's draw the table. X, y. And from now on, we're gonna guess some numbers, alright? So I'm gonna guess random numbers. Usually, we choose at least 3 points to draw a graph like this, okay? We're gonna have to guess numbers for x. This is how we start. So let's start saying that x is negative 1. So this is my first guess. If x is negative 1, then if x is negative 1, what are we gonna do? Piece of cake. We're going to replace negative 1 in the function. How? Where there is x, it will become negative 1. Don't forget, very, very important, use parentheses. So you don't forget, because sometimes numbers are negative, like here, sometimes they will be positive, and if you forget the parentheses, you might make a mistake regarding the signs. So let's go back. We're gonna rewrite our equation with our function, which is y equals negative x squared plus 4x minus 1. And then in the place of x, I'm gonna put negative 1. instead of x. Okay, so rewriting. Y equals, the negative stays here. Okay, you're not changing this sign, it stays there. What are you changing? The x. Okay, in the place of x we're gonna write -1. So all I did was change this x for -1, and it became -1 in parentheses. Okay, plus 4. In the place of x, we're gonna write -1. Remember, this is a multiplication, okay? -1. Now we've got one single variable with lots of numbers. When we solve this, we're gonna find one value for y. When we find one value for y, we put back in this table, and from this, we're gonna get ordered pairs, and we need these ordered pairs that we're gonna find for drawing the graph. Okay, so moving on. So in here come the pandas. Okay, remember the pandas? We're going to start with these parentheses with the exponent. So -1 square, just as a reminder, -1 squared is the same as -1 times -1. And this is the same as 1 times 1 is 1. Negative with negative becomes positive. So -1 squared is going to be +1. Okay? So we keep this negative sign that it's not inside the parentheses. It's outside, so you're not using it yet. We already know that this is +1, so you could simply write 1 plus 4 times. Now the next thing we're going to do is this, 4 times -1. So y equals positive with negative, negative. 4 times 1, 4. -1, -4, -5, -1, -6. Okay? So getting back to our tables, it is -6. Okay? So this is my first order pair. We need another 2. Okay? So I'm gonna guess 0 in x. You always guess in x, we're not guessing in y. Because if you guess in y, you're gonna get something equals to x squared, and you don't know how to solve this yet. Alright? So guessing x equals 0. We're gonna do the same procedure all over again, okay? So that means we're gonna get the original equation, and as we're guessing x equals 0, we're gonna replace our x's for 0. Y equals -0 squared plus 4 times 0 minus 1. So 0 squared is going to be 0. 4 times 0 is going to be 0. Minus 0 plus 0, blah. So your y is going to be -1. Okay? So going back. Remember, we're finding these numbers from replacing x in my original function for the values I'm guessing. Now, I'm guessing 1. Remember, I'm guessing all these numbers. Okay? For now, we're just guessing numbers. So guessing x equals 1. When you're guessing the x, always try to get a negative, 0, and a positive. Alright, so negative 1, 0, and 1 will usually be good guesses for you, because you will always get easy numbers to work with. So again, rewrite your original equation. We're guessing x equals to 1. Remember, now it's positive 1. Okay, so y equals negative. Let's use the parentheses and the sign. It's important. Oops. Plus 4 times positive 1 minus 1. Positive 1 squared is going to be 1. And this negatives is still outside. Positive with positive is going to be positive. 4 times 1, 4. Minus 1 minus 1 is going to be negative 2. Plus 4 is positive 2. Okay, so going back. 2. All right. So now we have these 3 order pairs. I'm going to call them A, B, C. And we are going to rewrite A, B, C as order pairs, and then we're going to plot them. Okay?